Shigaraki is the best character in My Hero Academia, and I'll tell you why. I remember seeing Shigaraki for the first time, a strange character covered in hands. He never piqued my interest as a villain, but I had no idea he would be the best character in the series. Picture a world where heroes are everywhere, yet a child still falls through the cracks. That child was Tenko Shimura, who would grow up to become Tomura Shigaraki, the most feared villain in My Hero Academia. But Shigaraki's story isn't just about destruction. It's about the failure of a society obsessed with heroism, the consequences of neglect, and the thin line between hero and villain. As we explore Shigaraki's character in this video, we'll see why he's not just a great villain, but the best character in the entire series. Shigaraki's story begins with the boy Tenko Shimura, who once looked up to heroes with dreams of becoming one. This would attract abuse from his father, who despised heroes and would beat him if he even mentioned the word hero. This hatred for heroes stemmed from his hero mother abandoning him to pursue her hero work for his safety. It gets even worse for Tenko when his quirk awakens, the power to decay anything and anyone he touches. In a moment of fear and confusion, Tenko kills his family by accident. The horror of a child watching his family crumble to dust before his eyes, and he could do nothing to stop it. Following this tragedy, we see the true failure of hero society. Here was an orphaned boy, traumatized and alone, wandering the streets for days, and there wasn't a hero in sight. As Tenko struggles to survive, we wonder who will shape this broken child's future. The answer comes in the form of All For One, the ultimate villain. All For One sees potential in Tenko's pain and rage, adopting him and molding him into a weapon against hero society. And thus, Tomura Shigaraki is born. When we first meet Shigaraki, he's a spoiled, chaotic force of destruction with no real purpose or plan, acting like an immature child rather than a villain. His first big move, the attack on UA, was a complete disaster. His efforts to kill All Might was a huge failure. All he did was show just how inexperienced and naive he was. But everything changed after one key encounter, meeting Stain, the hero killer. When Shigaraki's invitation to Stain was turned down, it hit him pretty hard. The hero killer saw right through him, calling out Shigaraki for lacking real conviction. His next big move would be to try and kill Stain by unleashing Nomu's Inhosu, which would also fail. This failure made Shigaraki start to question things, leading him to his own encounter with Midoriya. He asks why Stain was able to shake up society and turn people against the status quo, while Shigaraki's attacks on places like UA and Hosu barely made a dent. After some reflection, Shigaraki realized the root of his hatred for Deku and Stain, All Might. The number one hero and symbol of peace had made society lazy and careless. His encounter with Midoriya only solidified Shigaraki's beliefs, fueling his growing and more focused hatred of the hero system. But the real turning point for Shigaraki came when he lost All For One. With All For One's defeat, Shigaraki had to evolve. He was no longer the dependent apprentice. Now he had to become the leader of the League of Villains. As Shigaraki grows, we see him transform from a petulant villain into a complex antagonist. He becomes more cunning, more strategic, and far more dangerous. Through other arcs like the overhaul arc, we see Shigaraki growing into his own as a leader, and it's not until the Meta Liberation Army arc and his battle with Redestro that we see Shigaraki take that first step to becoming the ultimate antagonist. The notion that heroes create villains sound insane, yet this paradox lies at the heart of Shigaraki's worldview. At its core, Shigaraki's belief is simple. The current hero society is fundamentally flawed. Where were the heroes when young Tenko was left to wander the streets alone and scared? This shaped Shigaraki's view that the hero system doesn't protect everyone. It creates a false sense of security, making people complacent, while the truly vulnerable slip through the cracks. Shigaraki argues that the reassurance of heroes like All Might is the problem. It makes people passive, relying on heroes instead of taking responsibility for their safety or helping others. Shigaraki's past shapes how he sees the world. He's convinced that the whole system is broken. The parallels between Shigaraki and Deku are striking. Both were quirkless kids who looked up to All Might. But while Deku eventually got his powers and became part of the hero world, Shigaraki was left behind. Now they represent two opposing sides, hope versus fear. Shigaraki's philosophy isn't just about random destruction, it's a strategic attempt to expose the cracks in the hero system. By becoming the symbol of fear, he's forcing people to face the reality of their society. His character asks a tough question. In a world that creates its own villains, who are the real heroes? His ideology shakes up the entire foundation of My Hero Academia, turning the story into something more than just good guys versus bad guys. Shigaraki has become a powerful critique of the system, making us rethink what it really means to be a hero. A compelling antagonist needs to be more than just evil. They should challenge the hero on multiple levels, physically, mentally, and ideologically. They need a believable motivation, a tragic backstory, and the ability to grow alongside the protagonist. Shigaraki ticks all these boxes and then some. His journey mirrors Deku's in many ways. Both started as powerless children, both were shaped by powerful mentors, and both are now symbols of their respective ideologies. But where Deku represents hope and preservation, Shigaraki embodies fear and destruction. What makes him the best character in this show is that he is in a unique position where he is a critique of the very world he inhabits. This is shown in his speech to the heroes during the Paranormal Liberation War arc. I wish I could play the entire speech because it's just so damn good. This speech is what really solidified Shigaraki's place as the best character in the entire show. This speech is so good, I watched it dubbed and subbed and it still hit as hard as it did the first time. It perfectly encapsulates the character of Tomura Shigaraki. He's not just fighting the heroes, he's challenging the entire concept of a hero-based society. Shigaraki's presence forces Deku and the other heroes to confront uncomfortable truths about their world. Are they protecting everyone, or are they, as Shigaraki believes, part of a system that creates its villains? This ideology is prevalent in the story of Dabi and even Lady Nagant. This philosophical battle elevates My Hero Academia from a simple superhero story to a nuanced exploration of justice and social responsibility. As the series progresses, Shigaraki's role becomes increasingly central. He's not just a villain to be defeated, he's a dark reflection of what Deku could have become under different circumstances. This makes their conflicts deeply personal and raises the stakes beyond just winning or losing. Honestly, I don't think there's anyone in the My Hero Academia world who embodies its themes as well as Shigaraki. Other characters like Stain and All Might may come close, but Shigaraki is the biggest mirror held up to the values of hero society. During the final war, the clash of ideals between Deku and Shigaraki displayed for the world to see determines what hero society will eventually become. Where Deku wants to save Tenko, Shigaraki wants to destroy everything. Even unto his end, Shigaraki in his own words continued to fight to destroy. Shigaraki's place in the world of My Hero Academia ultimately makes him the best character in the series. His motivations, his complexity, his relationships, and even his friendships highlight a truth in modern hero society that has been ignored for far too long. They can't all rely on heroes alone, or else someone else will become the symbol of fear. Thanks for watching. Do you think Shigaraki is the best character in the series? Let me know in the comment section who is the best character in the series according to you. I look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.